shit, that's way too bright. It's bright out today. Hi! Hi, Courtney. How's it going, everybody? Hi. It is cold, I know, right? You look outside, you're like, oh, it's a beautiful day. And you go out and you're like, shit, it's freezing. I still wear my winter coat. It's like almost May. I'm still wearing a winter coat. Hi, Felicia. Thanks for joining us again. Hi, Gina. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Misty. Who's that? Oh my God, I can't read. Hi. Thanks for coming, guys. I got a fun topic for you today, or at least it's fun to me. I really love structure in my life and in my business. So today we're talking about schedules and routines. And I want to start out by saying that I don't follow routines and schedules all the time, but I do it a lot. And when I do, I tend to get better results. So schedules and routines for the win. Okay, so there's a few different schedules and a few different routines that I recommend. These aren't going to necessarily work for everybody or everybody's schedule and what they do. I am proud. Yay, 4 a.m.'s awesome. I got up at 6 today. It was a treat. Okay, so 2 different schedules. Hang on. Make sure I can read that properly. I wrote really, really tiny. Like, look at my notes. It's so tiny, it's like a little tiny note here. And I'm like, what does that say? Okay, so 2 different schedules, your daily schedule and your weekly schedule. That's what we'll be talking about today, as well as routines. So a morning routine, an evening routine, and a weekend routine. Okay, so those are, I mean, there's, a million different routines you can have, a million different schedules you can have, but these are the ones that seem to work best for me. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so let's dive right in. If you guys have questions, save them till the end, please and thank you. I love seeing the hearts. I love seeing the hearts. So if you like what I'm saying, keep giving me the hearts so I know to continue on. But don't ask me any questions, or I promise you I will get so distracted and be like, where was I? Because I can't focus when I have things popping up at me. But the hearts I like, so the hearts are cool. Okay, so we're going to start with the daily schedule. The daily schedule, which I personally believe is one of the most important schedules to have. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a schedule that you follow rigidly all the time. Like, this is kind of a loose schedule for me. And when I say schedule too, it's not even necessarily like, at 8 a.m. I do this, at 9 a.m. I do this, at 1 p.m. I do this. It's just, here's a list of shit I have to do today. And it's the same every day. That's what I mean by, a schedule. It's, I have to get this done in the morning, I have to get this done in the afternoon, like that. But it's not necessarily down to the hour, which you could do if you really wanted to. Sometimes for some people that boosts their productivity is knowing, at 2 o'clock I do this type of work, or 1 o'clock I do this, or whatever. So if you want to add times to it, then go for it. Me personally, I just have a list of everything that's on my schedule every day. And I just focus on getting them done because these are my important must-dos. Absolutely need to do them. So, I found a better spot for my note. There we go. That's better. Why didn't I think of that before? Okay, so here's what I do every single day in my business. Every single day, including the weekend, every goddamn day, even when I'm sick, even when I don't want to, even when I'm traveling, I do this stuff every single day because it is so important. And whenever I skip a day, I make less money. I feel like shit. People stop responding to my posts. I don't get as much engagement anymore on my posts, or, it's honestly just from one day of not doing all of these tasks. And I do these tasks every day, all of these tasks. It's very rare when I skip a day, maybe like once every 3-4 months or something. And it's a really weird situation if that happens, but this is what I do. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that I do every day, every single day. So the first thing that I do right when I wake up is my mindset work. And I've kind of struggled with mindset for the last year or so, where it's like I felt like I had to do mindset work in a specific way. I had to sit down and meditate. I had to visualize things. I had to, read mantras and affirmations and things like that. And it always just kind of felt like a chore to me. I didn't want to do it. The visualization I like doing, but I don't necessarily do visualization every single day. But all the other stuff, it didn't work for me. So I kind of gave up on mindset for a while, and I'm back into it now. But I'm doing it in a completely different way. So for me, mindset means kind of tuning in to my goals, my dreams, my desires for my life in the long term, as well as, you know, the day to day, and getting really clear on that every single day. So I journal every single morning. Every morning without fail. I clear out everything that's in my head. Sometimes the stuff that I write down makes no sense. Sometimes I'll even write something like, I don't know what to write today. This is so stupid. I feel like an idiot. Sometimes I write stuff like that, but I make sure that I clear out whatever is going on in my head first thing in the morning. And this is where I would say a good 99% of my good ideas come from, is when I sit down in the morning and I start journaling. Because I write things like, let me think what I wrote this morning. I should have brought my journal down to show you. But this morning I wrote that I plan on being on Oprah by the end of the year. Don't know how the fuck that's going to happen, but I'm going to be on Oprah, or I'm going to at least be in contact with somebody who worked for the Oprah show and could potentially get me on the Oprah show. So, you know, I write stuff like that. I was never thinking about Oprah. Last week, I had no plans to get on Oprah. This morning I was like, I need to be on Oprah. I wrote it down. We'll see how that comes about, but I wrote it down. It's out there now, and the universe is going to work for me. But I wrote that down. I write down things such as, I feel super hot in my body. I feel really healthy and really strong. Clients want to spend thousands of dollars working with me. I sell out all of the programs that I launch. I have amazing kids that love and respect me. I have a really hot relationship with my husband. So it's a mix of personal and business stuff, but I kind of write how I want to feel, how I want to be, how I want to live my life. I write that down in my journal. So another thing that I do in my journal every day is I write down my net worth, my business net worth. I haven't started doing my personal net worth yet, but my business net worth, I write that down in my journal every day. It takes a few minutes, but it's worth it. I also track all of my income and my expenses every day as well. That's something that I do in my not in my journal, but I have like a file on my computer that I put that in. So I'm tracking all of the money stuff. But yeah, in my journal, so it's mostly just how I want to feel, how I want to be, what I want to do, all of that good stuff, who I want to be with. I put all that stuff in there. I also pour out, just whatever's going on in my head. If I have random ideas that pop up for my business or even my personal life, I write those down. And I just get it all in there. I don't filter anything. It just get it all out. So that's something that I do every morning. Another thing that I do every day is visibility. So visibility in some way, and that could be, sharing a video, giving some tips to my audience. It could be doing a Periscope like I'm doing right now. It could be just posting something on Facebook. It could be emailing my list. It could be doing an interview, a podcast, whatever. Something for visibility, something where I get my message out there. Speaking of message, that's another thing I do every day, is I get my message out there every day. One of the biggest mistakes I find that entrepreneurs make, especially coaches, is they don't get their message out there daily. They are afraid of speaking up, giving their opinion, sharing what they believe about certain things. They're afraid that people won't like them. They're afraid that people are going to give them crap about what they say. And then so they don't show up every day and they don't share their message with the world. And that's what really is going to hold you back. So you have to share your message every day. I did a video about this yesterday. I got so fired up about it. So I'm not going to get into that today. But yeah, that's something that I recommend on your daily schedule as well. Every single day, in some way, get your message out there to your people. And don't filter it. Don't try to, don't try to, kind of talk or act or write how you think people expect you to or want you to. Just be you. That, I promise you, that is good enough. You don't have to be somebody else. So share your message. Another thing that I do is some planning. So I actually kind of do this while I'm doing some journaling, and I'm writing down all of the different things that I hope to be, do, see, hear, feel, whatever. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you enjoyed the email. Okay, so The other thing that I do is some planning. So while I'm journaling, I'll usually say something like, I always set a financial goal for the day. So I'll say something like, today I want to make, no, not today I want to make, today I will receive $5,000 in sales or $5,000 in cash, whatever it is. I'm very specific, and I always say that, or I write it as if it's already happened. So today I receive $5,000 in cash. I don't know how, I don't know what I'm going to sell to make that $5,000 or whatever the number is. I just know that today I'm going to make $5,000. So I'll write that down. That's part of my planning. It's not really a plan. It's more of I want this. But when I do set those, financial goals, I have a reason. So if I say I want to, or not want, I keep saying want, I am going to receive $5,000 today, it's for a reason. That $5,000 is for to pay my coach, or that $5,000 is to put the deposit down on this friggin' sexy ass hotel that me and Courtney are renting. Like whatever it is, I write down what the goal is and what the money is for. So I don't just pull a number out of the air and be like, I want to make $50,000 today or whatever. So I pick a realistic number. I'll send you details, Courtney. It's going to be epic. It's going to be so good. Okay, so some planning. So I do my planning, I do my mindset, I do my visibility, share my message. Another thing that I do is engagement. So with my Facebook group, with my email list, with my blog, with whatever, wherever all of my people are, it's usually just my Facebook group and my email list, to be honest with you. That's where I spend most of my time. So that's where they are. I, do something where I'm engaging with them. So it's not enough for me to just go and share, value, give tips, and be present in the group. That's part of it. But I also have to be engaging with the people that are in my group and that are sending me emails. So, I'll ask them questions. I'll leave comments on their posts. I'll send them a private message and be like, your post was awesome today. Keep up the awesome work, whatever. I do something where I'm engaging with them one-on-one. I don't do this, with every single person, of course, but I reach out to people that I feel like, I'm noticing them, I'm noticing their posts, I think they're doing an awesome job, or I can offer them support in some way, not paid support, but if, somebody asks a question, I'll be like, here's the answer, and, I don't charge them for it. I just do something where I'm engaging with them every single day. So engagement is huge. And then speaking of my community, another thing that you want to be doing is growing and nurturing your community every day. So do something, even if it takes you, just like 10, 20 minutes a day, do something where you can grow and nurture your community. So, you can share a link to your Facebook group and have people sign up for it. That's one thing you can do. You can send an email to your list and invite them to join your Facebook group. You can post in your Facebook group and invite them to sign up for an opt-in that you created to get them on your email list. Doesn't matter what you could do, there's always something you can do to get people on your list, to get people in your Facebook group, to grow your community. Because without your community, you have no business. You have no, rabid fans that want to buy all your stuff. So you have to make sure that you have that community and that you're nurturing that community every single day. So that definitely part of the daily schedule. Another thing is building relationships. So this is not necessarily, with the people that are already in your community that are, say, ideal clients. This is more, working with other entrepreneurs, other people in business that you can brainstorm with, you can mastermind with them, you can meet up with them in person and work together, you could collaborate with them. There's a lot of different things you can do. Or you can just be, a support buddy or an accountability buddy online with them. And just having those relationships with other entrepreneurs, I could tell you, from personal experience, I could tell you that if you don't have those relationships with other entrepreneurs, you are going to be so alone and so lost and so bored. Maybe not in the beginning because you'll be all excited about it, but trust me, from personal experience, it is so boring to just be, working alone all the time. It's so boring and it's so depressing and I hate it. And I'm a crazy, crazy introvert. Like, I love being at home, locked in my room. But I crave that, one-on-one interaction with somebody else in person, ideally, but it's good online too, as long as you have somebody who kind of understands where you are, understands what you're going through, because a lot of times as an entrepreneur, if we don't have family members or friends that are also entrepreneurs, nobody really understands why we sit online all day and what we do with our time, and they just don't understand. So it's good to have those relationships with other people that just get you and they understand what you're going through and they can help you with it. Okay, so building relationships. And then another thing, of course, is sales. So you're in business, you make money, you get money from sales. So you have to be selling. I've got all this dust. I don't know where this is coming from. You have to be selling every single day. No excuses. Nobody's going to think you're salesy. Nobody's going to get annoyed with you. And if they do, they're not your people anyway. But trust me, it very, very rarely happens, especially in your own community. You need to be selling every day for 2 reasons. Number one, like I said before, you're in business to make money. Money should be your goal, your number one goal, other than, obviously making an impact and helping people. You also want to make money. If you don't have money, you're not going to be able to live the life you want and grow your business and help other people. So you want to make money. And the other reason that you want to be selling every single day is because people don't see all of your content. They're not going to see all of your sales posts every day or your sales emails. They're not going to see them every day because they're inundated with thousands of those messages from other people every single day. So you can't expect people, if you post, let's say you post like 3 times a day in your Facebook group or you email your list like every single day, they're not going to see everything that you send them or post on in your group. They're just not. There's so much stuff going on online already that does not revolve around you and your business, and then there's stuff going on in their personal life as well. You just can't expect people to see your message all the time. It's not going to happen. So you need to be in front of them all the time. So sales, sales, sales every day. And this doesn't even necessarily mean you need to go out there and, post an offer and be like, hey, sign up for my one-on-one coaching like every single day. But you need to be doing some type of task that is related to sales that's going to help you. So you can write or edit a sales page. You can, just create an outline for a new program you're going to put out there, come up with an idea for a new offer. You can, post a Facebook ad for something, for one of your sales funnels that leads to an offer. You can follow up with potential clients. There's a lot of different things you can do. There's always something you can do to, get sales or at least lead people in the direction of buying from you. Okay, so some type of sales task every single day, at least one. I personally spend anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour or so doing some type of task related to sales. Sometimes I do more than that depending on what's going on, if I'm launching something or I have a big program coming up or something. But I do something every single day for at least 20 minutes that is related to sales. So that's part of your daily schedule also. And then another thing is the last thing on here, right? Yeah, last thing on here is content. So creating some type of content for or something that's going to be paid. So for me, what I usually do is I have my membership site, Babes in Business, or Babes in Biz, sorry, and I will create some type of content for my community every day. And that could be, I don't create a whole training or whatever, but I at least come up with an idea, maybe create an outline one day, and then the next day I'll kind of do, part 1 of the content, next day is part 2 or whatever it is. But I'll do something usually for the Babes and Biz community. I give all my girls homework and stuff every week as well. So I'll come up with some ideas for homework, things that they can do. And then, I have other programs as well that are launching. I have my mastermind with Courtney that's coming up in June. So I'm, working on some details behind the scenes around that. But what I do every day is I do something around the content that I'm going to be sharing with my audience every day. And it's the paid content. This is not the free content that you're putting out, in Facebook groups or emailing your list about or creating opt-ins about. This is simply the stuff that is going to be paid. People have to pay to access it. So it's going to be, content that's in your membership site. It can be content that is, you know, going to be part of a mastermind. It can be content that's going to be for your one-on-one clients, maybe. You know, it's something that people are going to pay for. So at least do something every day. Again, I probably only spend like 10-15 minutes a day doing this. I just do a little bit at a time, and you know, eventually it adds up and it becomes a really large volume of content for people. But you don't have to spend hours a day creating content. You just don't. You just need to spend a little bit of time every day and be consistent with it. Okay, so to recap, for your daily schedule, this is what you're going to want to do. So you want to do some type of mindset work. So this can be journaling, this can be meditating, this can be, you know, mantras, this can be visualizing, whatever works for you, do something. I highly recommend journaling and just getting those thoughts on paper, even if they don't make sense at first. But getting them out there is going to be huge. So I definitely recommend that. And then, of course, in addition to that, you want to be sharing your message. So share your message every day. Be honest about who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, and, you know, tell the world how you feel. And don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of people that, you know, say to you, you shouldn't say things like that, or you offended me because you said the word fuck. Who cares? Don't use a filter. Put your message out there. Be you, 100% you. Okay? Next is visibility. This is in no particular order, by the way. I'm just saying next. But visibility. So you need to do some type of visibility every day, which is sharing your message, as well as just kind of being there and, you know, showing people that you're there, you're showing up, you're being available to them. And you don't have to be visible 24/7, of course. I wouldn't expect that and don't recommend that. But you need to be visible every day for at least, you know, like 10 minutes a day, where you're just showing up and you're commenting on their posts, reaching out to people, that kind of thing. As well as engagement every day. So engaging with your audience in some way. This can be responding to emails from one-on-one clients. This can be responding to messages on Facebook. This can be, again, commenting on other people's posts. You do something for engagement. Another thing is to grow and nurture your community. So whether your community is on Facebook, you know, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, just your email list, wherever your people are, you need to grow and nurture that community every day in some way. Build relationships with people also, people that are entrepreneurs like you, that you can lean on and support, and they can, you know, lean on and support you. And people that just get you, they understand you, and they want to be there to help you and support you and just be your friend. We need friends. Content as well. Content every day, paid content. So even, you know, like I said, for like 10 minutes a day at least, you're doing some type of content or content planning for something that's paid, for a one-on-one program, a group program, a mastermind, you know, whatever it is, put it out there, get some type of content written down. And then finally, last but definitely not least, is sales. So some type of sales task every day that is going to get you sales or lead people in the direction of buying from you. So, you know, fixing a sales page, writing a new sales page, promoting an offer, creating a new offer, whatever it is, there's lots of stuff you could do. So sales, sales, sales. Cool? Yay! Okay, weekly schedules. Let's move on to weekly schedules. This is not as crazy as the daily schedule, but so another thing that I wanted to mention about daily schedules too is one thing that I recommend doing that I didn't mention is gratitude. So I usually do this in the morning when I'm journaling. Sometimes I'll do it at night. But just write down at least one thing every single day that you're grateful for. So I am so grateful for X, or I am so happy and grateful that X happened today, or whatever it is. You have to show gratitude if you want more of that to show up in your life. So gratitude, 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 as well as sales, sales, sales. Okay, weekly schedule. So there's 4 different things that are on my weekly schedule that I believe should be on everybody's weekly schedules, honestly. And depending on your business, there might be other things you need to do during the week as well. But this is the stuff that I do every week and feel is the most important. So the first thing is to review your week. So I do this usually Saturday or Sunday, depending on what's going on. But I review my week. So I look back at everything I did for the week and I say, okay, what worked? Why did it work? How can I do more of that? What didn't work? Why didn't it work? What can I stop doing because it's just not working anymore? What can I fix? What can I try to fix? What can I tweak a little bit? So I review that way. I also review my sales, what was selling really well, what particular sales page was working best, what particular sales funnel was working best, what type of promotion was working best, because sometimes I get more sales via email, and then sometimes I get more sales, via my Facebook group or whatever. So I always do some type of review at the end of every week to kind of see what happened that week, what was good, what was bad, and how can I make the next week better. So some type of review there. Another thing that I do is prepare content. I don't do this very, what's the word? I'm not very strict with this one, but I usually do, like usually on Sunday nights, I'll create like a list of different ideas for content, different posts that I can share, different emails I can send. But to be honest with you, I'm the type of person who just, I go with the flow, and I'm like, I don't really feel like writing about this. I'm going to write about this instead. And so lately I haven't really been following my list too closely. I still write it because it's good to brain dump and get ideas out there. And I'm recommending it today because I know that for most people, it works best to, do some type of, preparing in advance and planning things. But for me personally, I plan, but I'm not really strict with it. So I say like, okay, I could talk about this, but I don't really want to talk about that part of this. So, I'll just tweak it a little bit and make it work for me. And it has to be something that I'm really passionate about at the time. Like yesterday, I don't know if you saw my Facebook Live, but I was talking about messaging. And that was just because so many people I could see were screwing that up. So I wanted to talk about it. But that wasn't on my weekly, ideas list. So it's good to get your ideas out there and plan a little bit, and prepare a bit in advance, but don't feel like you have to stick to that schedule. You need to be, a little bit flexible with it and let your intuition kind of guide you when it comes to creating content. Okay, so another thing that I do every week is I track my analytics in some way. Again, I'm not super rigid with this, and sometimes I do these things more than once a week if I feel like it, but usually it's once a week. So I'll track like how many people came to my website, where they came from, and then I kind of brainstorm how can I get more people to show up to my website. I'll track some analytics around different promotional campaigns I'm doing. So I'll check my Facebook ads, see how those are doing, see if I need to increase my budget on there, all types of stuff behind the scenes. So you want to be measuring this stuff so that it grows, right? Because what you measure grows. So you want to be measuring it. So I'm checking all my Facebook ads, I'm checking my websites, I'm checking my click-throughs and my open rates for my email list, and I'm brainstorming ways that I can make it better. So I do that every week, if not daily for some stuff. And then last but not least is team meetings. Now, I don't personally do actual meetings every week, but I do usually send an email to my manager and my virtual assistant, and I say, these are the tasks that need to be done this week. This is your task list, this is your task list, this is my task list. And I tell them what I expect from them for the week and what they can expect from me for the week. I leave it open. I say, like, if you have questions or you want to talk about something, let me know if it's not super clear. But that is basically our meeting. If you want to have actual meetings, like via Skype or via phone, even better. But I just do it via email. It's just easier for me and it's quicker. So I do that. I do that for the sole purpose of making sure that everybody on my team is on the same page. So I'll usually even send goals. I'll say, like, this is the financial goal for the week. This is what our email list growth goal is for the week, stuff like that, so that they know what I'm working towards, and if they have suggestions or if there's things that they can do to help me and support me in reaching those goals, they will tell me. So it's good to communicate with your team at least once a week. Some people do it daily, and that works too. I feel like that's better for, if you have a really large business that's bringing in like $1 million a year or something, then yeah, you probably want to have some daily meetings. But for me personally, I do once a week, and that's working really well for me in my business right now. So team meetings. So to recap the weekly schedule, review your week, prepare content or do some type of planning and thinking and brainstorming in advance, your analytics, your stats, that kind of stuff, and then team meetings. So if you, obviously, when it comes to team meetings, if it's just you running your business, you don't need to do team meetings, but you do want to check in with yourself because you are your team, and just kind of see where you're at and just say, okay, here's our goals for the week, even though it's just you. Okay? Next, routines. So I'm going to talk about morning routine, evening routine, and weekend routine. So I'm just going to kind of give you an example, I guess like a peek at what I do each day, in the morning, in the evening, and then on the weekends, to kind of give you an idea of how to structure your own days. But of course, you know, our lives are completely different, and what might work for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So take this as you will, and, you know, use bits and pieces of it that you feel would work for you. So what I do in the morning, I have a routine where I usually get up before 6 a.m. Sometimes, you know, I try to be up between 4 and 5 because I get a ton more work done if I'm up really early, but let's be honest, that's not happening every day. So as long as I'm up before 6, I'm very productive, and that's all that matters to me. So I get up before 6. If the kids aren't awake yet, which usually they aren't, thankfully, I'll usually have my morning tea. I'll do my journaling and some brainstorming and things like that, my personal stuff. And then 4 is my new time, 3 hours of quiet. I know, it's awesome, right? I love 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock wake up times. So then after I have my tea and I do my journaling, you know, I'll have some breakfast, and then I go up and I get the kids and get them ready for school, do the whole morning routine, the mini morning routine for them, where I'm, you know, making lunches, getting things ready for them to go to school and all that stuff. So I'm getting all of that stuff ready for them, and then around just before 9 o'clock, I go to school, I do the drop off, and then I come home, and that's really when my work day begins. So depending on what's going on that day, you know, I do everything obviously that is on my daily schedule, but my morning stuff is usually, I usually do client calls in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, but usually in the morning. I do my engagement, my visibility, my messaging, that kind of stuff is usually in the morning as well. I do some type of admin work as well, so like clearing out emails from my inbox and that kind of stuff. I do that in the morning. And then I work until about, say, 11 a.m., and that's when I have my lunch. That's technically my afternoon, is right around 11 o'clock. So I'll do that. And in the morning, I mean, I try to keep it really, depending on what time I get up in the morning, I try to keep it really focused, because that is when I work best. Personally, I've, you know, tried this in the evenings, afternoons, and I just feel like I work best in the morning. So the earlier I get up, the better. I try to get the hard, quote unquote, hard tasks out of the way first. And sometimes for me that's writing. So, you know, if I have to write emails to my list, I'll do that first, because that is one of those things that I feel like if I don't do it right away, it's going to get pushed to the bottom of my list. And then, you know, if I need to create audios or I need to create slides for a webinar or something like that, those are, to me, my hard tasks and stuff that I'm going to procrastinate on. So I tend to do those in the morning to get them out of the way, along with my mindset, my gratitude, all that stuff, my planning, my messaging, and everything like that. And then in the afternoon, I do some more client calls and some more engagement and some more visibility and more messaging. So that's my morning routine. I tend to stick to that routine pretty closely. I've been doing that for, God, at least the last 8 months or so. I've been doing that solid. So I got a pretty good routine going there. And then, so for my evening routine, I don't really do any work in the evening, so it's pretty fun. But if I have like a launch or something going on, or I just have a project that's due, or I have, you know, an interview that happens to fall, you know, if they're out in like Australia or New Zealand or something, then the interview obviously can't be during my day. It's going to have to be late at night. But usually my evening routine is, you know, I stop working around 3 o'clock when I go pick up my son from school. Sometimes I'll work until 5, like I'll go pick him up, we'll come home, and I'll finish some tasks, or I'll, you know, do a client call or something. And then, so 5 o'clock is when I start dinner, no matter what. I always start dinner right around 5. My husband and daughter come home around like 6 o'clock from work and daycare. So we usually eat around 6 o'clock, and then we spend a little bit of time together as a family until about 7:30 or so, and then the kids go to bed, and then my husband and I spend a little tiny bit of time together before we go to bed too. We usually go to bed very soon after the kids, actually. So you know, we don't have much time together, but that's what's working right now for me and in my life in the evenings. You know, maybe when my kids are older, I'll have more work time in the evenings because they're not going to have anything to do with me. But right now my kids are really young, and you know, they want to spend time with me and their dad, so we make sure that family time is, you know, really at the top of our priority list. We want to make sure that gets done for sure. So that's a big part of our routine, is that family time. So evening routine is really kind of laid back. Another thing I do before I go to bed is I plan the next day. So I'll plan, you know, my to-do list for the next day, you know, my must-do activities, any calls that I have to do, any interviews that I have to do, any videos I have to shoot, any of that stuff goes onto my to-do list for the next day. You know, I'll prepare some food for the next day if it's going to be a really busy day. I'll prepare some food, some lunch, some snacks, you know, even breakfast sometimes. I do some type of preparing my food every day, at least knowing what's going to be, you know, on the menu the next day, just so I don't have to worry about that, because I found that to be a really big issue for me. Was I would end up eating a lot of crappy food, getting a lot of takeout and that kind of stuff, just because I didn't, you know, take 10 minutes at night to plan what I was going to eat the next day. So I do that every night as well, some type of planning for the day ahead, both food-wise and, you know, daily tasks and to-do-wise. So that is our evening routine. The weekend routine is kind of similar to the evening routine in that I don't really work much on the weekend. I do still share my message. I get that out there because you have to do that every day. You know, I do something around sales, something around visibility, all the stuff I talked about in the daily schedule. I do that on the weekend as well, but I usually do that first thing in the morning, and then I take, you know, the rest of the day off, pop in on social media every once in a while, and that's about it. But yeah, so you know, our weekends are usually just family. You know, after I do my work in the morning, it's just family time. I do some menu planning and meal prepping on Sundays usually. So I have some meals and snacks and stuff for the week ahead. I plan on Sundays, I plan a little bit of content ideas as well as my weekly to-do list for the next week. So I have all of that laid out. And that's about it. I mean, on the weekends, we just kind of leave the house, go out and do stuff. We run errands, we spend time together as a family, and I just use the morning as my work time. That's about it. So those are my routines, and routines that have been working really well for me. And yeah, so anybody have any questions around routines or schedules, daily schedules, weekly schedules, anything at all? All of this stuff has helped me so much, like having these routines and these schedules in place, so that I'm not kind of, you know, having this full on, like I have to do a million things and like my brain is just exploding with all the work that I have to do. So it's helped me quite a bit having these schedules in place and being really routine with them. You lay this all out in the focus formula, right? Yeah, I do. So the focus formula is my method for being really focused and consistent in your business. It's something I created actually a couple of years ago with my last business. And if you wanted to learn more about it, it's CassieHoward.com/the-focus-formula. If somebody wants to type that in, that'd be awesome. But yeah, so I created this a couple years ago to help me get really focused in that business because it wasn't making the money I wanted and it wasn't making good money consistently. And I've been using it ever since. And it was, you know, the main thing that enabled me to grow my coaching business from $0 and a complete nobody to $250,000 in sales in just 12 months. And like I said, I was a complete nobody. So this stuff really works. And I put a lot of love and attention into creating the focus formula for those of you that are feeling really stuck right now and really confused about like your next steps and really overwhelmed and feeling like you're just spinning your wheels all the time and not making any traction. Thanks, Courtney. Yes, that's the link right there. So screenshot it and go check it out. The doors close on the 30th of this month. Could you expand on what you were sharing about your money goals that you write in your journal? I will, yes, I will. Just one second, I will. So I just wanted to let you guys know that the focus formula doors are closing this month, April 30th, so just a couple of days, and you can get started for as low as $97. That's it. And there is a 100% money back guarantee. So if you think the focus formula sucks, which you won't, but just in case you do, you get all of your money back, no questions asked. But it's there for you, just because I want this to be a complete no-brainer. So if, focus and consistency and lack of a consistent income is something that's happening right now in your business, you need the focus formula. I promise you that it will help you. You will get results. Just ask anybody that is in the focus formula. I don't know if anybody's on right now other than Courtney that is a part of the focus formula, but they will tell you, I've seen them go through really big shifts right now. One of our members, she actually I think 3 weeks of being in the focus formula, she was able to double her revenue, and she's all organized. She has like all of her podcast episodes and shit recorded. She's got so much going on, and it was just in 3 weeks. So this is a really amazing thing that I'm putting out there for you because I believe that it can change your life and your business forever. So go check it out and sign up if you are struggling with this, because it will help you. I guarantee it. Exactly. Yeah. See? Exactly. Okay, so I wanted to get to that question about my money goals and stuff that I have when I'm doing my planning. So what I do is I honestly just say to myself, how much money do I need to make today? So for example, what was it, today or yesterday? No, today. So today my goal is $10,000 in sales. So today I'm going to receive $10,000 in sales. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I'm going to make $10,000 in sales. I will. And the reason why is because I do need to put a deposit down on the mastermind location, the freaking beautiful hotel in Toronto. So I need to put a deposit down on that so I can book all of those rooms. So I need to have $10,000 for that, as well as to, get the food and stuff going, all of that stuff to get our photographer, our videographer, everything going. So I need that money to come in. That's what it's for. The universe knows what I want. And now I just have to take the action to make it happen. Hopefully that answers your question. Anybody else have questions for me? My hair looks pink. Pinky. You're welcome. You're so welcome. If anybody else has questions, let me know. I'm going to be back again on Periscope tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. for day 4 of the challenge. And it's going to be huge, so make sure you are there. I'm going to have some giveaway goodies as well. How much time do you give yourself for doing content, and how much time for sales calls? Sales calls, I don't really do sales calls much anymore just because I don't have to, but if I do, they're anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes usually. And then creating content, I usually do 10, 20 minutes a day. That's it. What if your audience is small? How do you up-level it daily? It doesn't matter if your audience is small. You can still make a ton of money with a small audience. I mean, I know somebody who had, for example, an email list of, I think she said it was 315 or 350, forget what it is, people on her list, and she did a $10,000 launch from a really tiny email list. So even if your audience is small, you can still make a lot of money in your business. The important thing is just to share your message, get it out there daily, show people that you're the expert, you know what you're talking about, and then sell. Every day, do something where you are selling or doing some type of sales task where you're just putting it out there and getting people to be interested in buying from you or getting them to actually buy from you. So it doesn't matter if you have, a small audience. It's still possible to make a lot of money in your business and do that consistently. Anybody else? All right, last chance. So tomorrow, again, 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be here. I have some goodies to give away, so I hope you'll come and join me. We'll be doing day 4 content, and then Friday is the last day. If you guys have any questions at all about this challenge or about the focus formula, please send me a message on Facebook and let me know. I'm happy to help. Cool. You're so welcome. I love talking about schedules. I love talking about routines and all this stuff. This is fun for me. I can't believe this is my, my job. I love it. It's so fun. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. Again, let me know if you have any questions at all. Please feel free to reach out. I promise I don't bite too hard anyway. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.